A very good morning to everyone present here. One of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature, which shall not be broken, said Leo Tolstoy. It's my honor and delight to welcome you all on this auspicious Environment Day celebration to the National Seminar on Sustainable Challenges in Post-COVID. Today is the World Environment Day. World Environment Day is celebrated on 5th June every year. Its aim is to raise global awareness about our environment. Do you know when the World Environment has begun? It was in the year 1972, the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment at Stockholm was held from 5th June to 16th June. It was Rachel Carson, a scientist and environmentalist, who put across her views of the need of preserving and enhancing environment. After that, every year on 5th June, it has been hosted by different countries of the world with different themes. And this year, the theme of World Environment Day is biodiversity. We started the celebration of World Environment Day at Government First Grade College, Hoskote, by inauguration. You would put across the photos here on the screen. The celebrations of World Environment Day was inaugurated by Pratibha Sharath Bachegowda, who is the wife of Honorable MLA Sharath Bachegowda of Hoskote, who is also the chairperson of College Development Council. She planted a sapling on the premises of Government First Grade College, Hoskote, to mark the celebrations of World Environment Day 2020. Today, we have with us a great environmentalist, a renowned film actor, Shri Suresh Heblikar. Before we start with this national webinar, I request Honorable Principal of Government First Grade College, Hoskote, Dr. Muninarayanappa, to speak, to give away the keynote address. We are getting connected to our esteemed Principal, Dr. Muninarayanappa. Sir, am I audible?
Sir, no, unmute, sir.
You need to unmute your audio. Sir, kindly unmute your audio at your end. Here it goes. Sir, you can start. No, it's
Hello. Is it audible, madam? So good morning to all of you. Very good morning to Suresh Heblikar, sir. Good morning to all participants who have joined to this webinar. I am principal of Host College, Government Degree College, Hoskote, Bangalore Rural District. I'm happy to say that our college has exclusive environmental BSc graduation headed by Dr. Harish Kumar. Just last week, we have completed on online program, wherein we have covered various aspects of COVID impact on higher education and also society. So to make this activity sustainable, we have organized to have this program today, since we all of us know that today is the World Environment Day. To celebrate this Environment Day meaningfully, and we planted trees in the college premises, and we have been doing all these environmental and oriented activities in the college. Not only we have a combination to teach the theory to the students CVS, apart from we're also guiding society, guiding the various persons, and incorporating all the persons to this eco-friendly and environmental activities. And it is my fortune that I have a proactive environmental professor, Dr. Harish Kumar, along with other coordinator, Dr. Chalpati and Dr. Manjunath, Narsimha, and Dr. Srinivasulu, who have been continuously doing all these activities to make this function successfully. And we are conducting this program with our famous environmentalist, Suresh Heblikar. We are very happy today that we are going to have a discussion with the Suresh Heblikar. And Suresh Heblikar, all of us, that he is meant for environment. His name is itself says that Suresh Heblikar is an environmentalist, and he is joined with us with all his busy schedule on this particular day. And I am grateful to sir. I really am grateful to Suresh Heblikar sir that you have joined today, and we are very much keen interest to listen your voice, and we will receive all your directions for the protection of this environment, and also we will practice your ideas with our college premises, and also we will make all these statements across the environment. And all participants from different area, different parts of the country have joined to this program. And I saw that many participants from Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, Jammu Kashmir, and likewise many participants also joined to this program. Particularly, we have to give more importance, more significance to these days to protect the environment, not only by saying words that I am environmentalist, I am protecting an environment. Apart from this, practically, empathetically, that we have to do all these activities, and we have to educate the next generation in such a way that we must protect the environment, so that only our job will be completed. And this we are conducting. What are the challenges that we have to face after the COVID effect? Still now, we cannot say that after the post-COVID, still that COVID impact is going on, but there is some platforms are necessary to discuss what are all the challenges that we have to face, particularly educationalists, and particularly to protect and to encourage the environmental oriented activities. And we are inviting all professors, kindly contribute, kindly express your views in the sessions to the resource person, and we will consolidate all your opinion. And same thing that we will, if best opinions are received from you, we will consolidate that all opinions, and we will send to the government, and also we will incorporate all, we practice all these activities to protect the environmental day. Thank you to all personalities who have joined to this program. I hope that all of you would enjoy this program by participating in this World Environment Day on 5th June 2020. And the host college, all faculty members and various other communities like committees like IQAC and GNAC and various other coordinators also, they have contributed to make this function. And I extend my thanks to all of us, all of them, for starting this function. I hope that this program will be completed successfully. Thank you, madam. Over to host.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a very impactful keynote address by Principal Dr. Mudinarayanappa. And I'm sure that we are going to take it forward. As he said, the meaning lies not in just the celebration, but the meaning lies in practicing what actually we are going to learn in this national webinar. Before we go ahead, I would, without further ado, I would give you certain instructions which you have got to follow. All of your audios are muted from the central panel, And hence, if you have got any questions, suggestions, or if you have got to express your opinions, kindly type it in the chat box which you find on your control panel. We will be taking up your questions immediately during the interaction session after the resource person completes his speech. Now, to make this celebration of World Environment Day more meaningful, we have a very unique person with us, a great personality, an environmentalist, a filmmaker, a director, and an actor, and it is none other than Suresh Heblikar. Let me take through his journey of what made him from person to personality, what made him from a film actor to an environmentalist. Suresh Heblikar is a Kannada filmmaker, director, and actor. He is also a well-known environmentalist, founder of the Eco Watch NGO, which was founded in 1998. He has produced many noteworthy movies in Kannada, of which Kadina Benki won Best Director National Award and Usha Kiran the Filmfare Award. His films are known to have an offbeat theme where passionate romance is portrayed. His movie themes also involve psychosis and scientific temperaments, which Heblikar humbly attributes to his association with producer and psychoanalyst Dr. Ashok Pai. Being an environmentalist himself, his movies depict nature and conservation. Suresh Heblikar had his early education at Crescent Convent and Basil Mission School, Dharwad. He completed his bachelor's degree from Karnataka College and postgraduate degree from Karnataka University, Dharwad. Sri Suresh Heblikar is the man who made path-breaking Kannada cinema from the late 70s onwards. But in the late 1990s, he switched paths and turned environmentalist, determined to make a difference. The man has excelled in both his roles. Though he continues to act occasionally, it is environment that he has chosen to dedicate his time to. He is the winner of the State Award for his movie Aghata, National and State Awards for his Kadina Benki, and the prestigious International Osiris Award given by United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization for his film Shepherds on the Moon. This film depicts the relationship between human beings and animals. Sri Suresh Heblikar got the Best Actor Award for his performance in the movie Aparichita also. As an environmentalist, he founded Eco Watch, a center for environment and sustainable development, an NGO which was founded in 1998. It is very, very essential for all of us to know more about Eco Watch, what they do, and how they contribute towards preservation and enhancement of environment. Eco Watch is aimed at building awareness about various environment issues and concerns among student communities, organizations, corporate entities, and the masses in a simple yet effective manner. This will hopefully create an eco-conscious culture which will help protect and improve existing ecological and environmental conditions in both urban and rural areas. The activities include ongoing research-based projects and programs, thematic campaigns, field studies, surveys, and documentation in collaboration with our technical associates, inspired and dedicated people who offer the wealth of their experience and expertise. Now, there are list of awards that he has bagged. To name a few: United Nations Award Osiris. A documentary and short film have always been one of the key outreach vehicles of Eco Watch, which has also been used as an educational tool. The film, titled Shepherds on the Moon, directed by Suresh Heblikar, won the United Nations FAO award titled Osiris. the symbolic relationship and harmonious existence of man, animal, and nature is the main focus of this film. Rotary Award as Best Voluntary Organization in Bangalore in the field of environment. He has also bagged the award Rotary Citizen Extraordinary Award. Paul Harris Fellowship is conferred on him. It is yet another prestigious award which was conferred on him for his contribution towards environmental conservation, awareness among a cross-section of the society, and for his films that have created great impacts and motivated a range of audience in several geographical locations of the state. IBM PRSI Award for Sri Suresh Heblikar for his outstanding contribution in the field of environmental and ecological sensitization among the younger generation of the state. As a part of his fellowship, Heblikar will work on a project addressing the biological restoration of coastal Uttara Kannada in the state of Karnataka, that is in India. The key objective of this project is to safeguard the environment and ecology, not only for posterity, but to enrich and sustain lives and livelihoods and set an example of a replicable indigenous ecosystem conservation model. Suresh Heblikar is thus a multi-talented personality known for his love towards nature. There is also a biography written on Sri Suresh Heblikar, which is titled Live with Dreams by Dr. Veena Bharati. So now we are going to listen to Sri Suresh Heblikar. Before that, I would like to express our gratitude to the press reporter, Sri Manjunatha, who is with us, who is connected with us from Government First Grade College, Hoskote. Thank you, Sri Manjunath. Sir,
yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir. So now over to Sri Suresh Heblikar. Sir, we are all eager. Yes, we are all eager to listen to you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And I don't know whether I should say good morning or good noon, because it's already more than 12 o'clock. Anyway, fine. On a World Environment Day, you invited me to speak to your students and professors, especially, who happen to come from different parts of the country. I'm happy always to talk a little bit that I know about environment and share my thoughts and experiences, my imagination, and what we want to do, what we have done, things like that. Well, this year, as you know, there is a focus on biodiversity. Biodiversity, which you all must be knowing what it is, different kinds of plants, different kinds of species of animals and grassland, all this. World once upon a time was full of biodiversity, right? Because over a period of nearly 200 years, we have transformed this world into a different kind of a materialistic civilization, which was an absolutely pro-climate and a pro-water, pro-air. Everything was pro in terms of environment, this world was. I have seen a movie which, which gives a tremendous impact on the human mind, the kind of forest that we have. It was full of forests. I also remember having seen a BBC film which said that this earth for lakhs of years, it rained every day, heavy rain. There was no life on this earth because there was so much of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And those heavy rains for thousands of years, it brought down the CO2 level, and so that life could germinate on this earth. Now we must know that we have all loved environment. There is nothing very special about environment. We love the nature, we love the trees, we love birds, we love soil, we love vegetables, we love animals, we love the grasslands, we love the lakes, we love the rivers, we love the fish. These are all nothing but biodiversity. So this biodiversity brought not.
చేసారా
Hello, can you hear me?
ఓకే
So this biodiversity also
మరి
brought.
ఇప్పటి వరకు ఉంటుందా
Hello.
అవునా ఓకే అయితే పర్వాలేదు
Please, yes.
Can I continue?
Please mute. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this biodiversity that I was talking about brought a variety of even geographical locations. India, as you know, from Himalayas to Kanyakumari, has very, very diverse geographical areas. You have deserts like Rajasthan. We have rivers, the 5 rivers just down Himalayas, which cross the border and go into Pakistan. But we must know that the environment doesn't have any borders, like air, the water, the grasslands, the forests. They all stretch from place to place, end to end. And across the world, across the planet, we have these stretches of environmental assets and ecological wealth, which has been strewn up in a tremendous way for the whole, human beings, for animals, for birds, for insects, which create our environment to survive. So today you have said that sustainability has to be discussed. What has been there on the earth cannot be there for a long time because we are 8 billion people today. We are using every day the natural resources. We drink water, we drink tea, we drink so many things. We eat food, we wear clothes, we construct houses, we are constructing transport, we are creating tremendous amount of infrastructure, urban infrastructure. We brought globalization across the world. So these are putting a heavy pressure on our environmental resources, because the urban infrastructure, like we have today Bangalore, which was not like this 20 years ago. Bangalore was beautiful. All lakes were in good shape. We had wonderful grasslands. So the biodiversity of Bangalore was beautiful. We had enough water coming from Kaveri River. Kaveri River again takes its birth in the Western Ghats. So these Western Ghats, which have been even focused by the United Nations long back, they called it the biodiversity hotspots. We have tremendous biodiversity in the Western Ghats. We have, just like Amazon forest, we have a great biodiversity in the Western Ghats. And this biodiversity has given us economics, has given us medicine, has given us health, has given us culture, has given us social cohesion, has given us hope, has given us agriculture, has employed a lot of people, because there are 4 rivers and the Western Ghats bring a huge amount of rains. You see, for instance, we have 7 rivers in Karnataka which take their birth in the Western Ghats. And then there are 4 rivers where I come from, Dharwad. 4 rivers like Kali, Malaprabha, Kataprabha, Mahadai. They take their birth in the Western Ghats. And these forests of the Western Ghats, they bring tremendous amount of rains. And then we have Mahadai River, we have Malaprabha River, Ghataprabha. They irrigate millions of acres of land. And as you know, that place is called the sugar belt of India today, like, after Maharashtra. But the sugar is not good really, because to grow 1 ton of sugar, you have to spend about 12 lakh liters of water for 1 acre for 1 ton of sugar. So we have to be careful as to what kind of agriculture we should grow. We are 125, 130 crore population in this country. And there are different kinds of food tastes. There are different kinds of foods, which are eaten by different states. The Kerala, they have different, Tamil Nadu has different, Maharashtra has different, Goa has different, Uttar Pradesh has different. Although there are certain staple food, like rice and chapatis, which are okay. But then we have to grow multiple crops. And India was known for growing multiple crops because we are a fragmented agricultural land. So we are growing all our requirements in the piece of land that was available to us. So the biodiversity was also in agriculture, the agricultural diversity. horticultural diversity, language diversity, knowledge diversity. We had a tremendous amount of diversities. And so people depended on these diversities. So if you know Western Ghats, which have 65 rivers, and these Western Ghats of South India, that is, which starts from Tapi River in Goa, in Gujarat, come down to Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, bit of Tamil Nadu. 65 rivers, and these rivers irrigate millions of acres of land. The governments have built hydro project where the electricity is produced, which run hundreds and thousands of industries, employing lakhs of people. So you imagine what the forest and the environment has done. It has given us economic prosperity. It has given us culture. If you look at the communities, there are hundreds of, the tribal communities and the social other communities which live on the fringe of the forest, and they use the minor forest produce like the honey, the fruits, the flowers, like we have kaude hannu, bare hannu, parge hannu, nerle hannu, kanche hannu. These are the ones which are plucked by the local communities. And the children, if you go along, if you go to Goa, or if you go to Belgaum, if you go to the Western Ghat roads, you will see the children will be sitting on the roads selling the flowers and fruits. They take them and go back, live there in the forest. They don't use the water like us from the tap, and they are very happy. They grow their vegetables, and they have these forest minor produce, and they survive. That is why we have to save these Western Ghat forests, because the Western Ghat forests are also they are the sources of knowledge for thousands and lakhs of students. Every year, the students of biology, zoology, botany, they go to the Western Ghats to study the biodiversity. They study various species of animals, birds, and the plants. They give us medicine. Now we are trying to, open the roads. We are trying to broaden the roads by cutting the trees. Lakhs of trees are cut in the Western Ghats. This is, am I heard? Hello? Am I heard? Okay. So we must know. That is why there was a book, which influenced me a lot. As a student of economics, there was a book written by Schumacher. He was a German, but studied in Oxford University in England. He wrote a book called The Small is Beautiful. And this Small is Beautiful, it revolutionized the thinking of not only environmentalists, but of all the world. Stanford University in the United States has quoted him substantially, saying that if you want to really preserve the environment of the degenerating environment of the world, This Small is Beautiful by Schumacher must be read by everybody. This Small is Beautiful is an economic book, and this stresses on having the smaller projects around the smaller communities, around the communities and not corporations. But today we have gone from communities to corporations. We have big industries, we have giant projects, we are squandering huge resources where we don't know where the resources come from, because we have developed technologies which bring resources from many parts of the world, from America, from Amazon, from China, from Europe, from any part. So do we really require that kind of an economy? What is the purpose of human life on this earth? We have to be a little bit philosophic, because the environment teaches us actually spirituality, because you should not harm animals. You should not harm plants. That's what environment says. That's how it will survive. And then if there is spirituality, then there will be a beautiful world. People will live in harmony with nature. People will live in harmony with animals. People will live in harmony with grasslands. Now today we are destroying the grasslands. See, recently the government was thinking of putting up a film city in a grassland. We have 4,000 acres of grassland around Hesargatta Lake. And this Hesargatta Lake supplied the water to T.G. Halli, which Mokshgundam Vishweswaraya in 1932 built a drinking water reservoir to supply drinking water to the population of Bangalore. And today, the whole T.G. Halli Lake, not a drop of water is being supplied, because it is completely polluted. We developed housing layouts, we developed industrial layouts, we developed roads, We put up urban infrastructure. So this is what I want the college lecturers and professors to carry this to the students. What kind of an economics we have to create? What kind of jobs have to be created? This country is traditionally known for its wonderful techniques. There are great carpenters, there are great handicrafts people. I have seen virtually right from my childhood days where I used to bunk the school, go to the lakes, swim there for hours, and go into small, pockets of forest, pick up this kauli hannu, the jamun fruit, the guava, the mango, the barihannu, all this. And maybe if we have got a better immunity today, because this is what we ate. Today it is said that the modern lifestyle brings a lot of modern diseases. And the virus today, the COVID, the coronavirus, which has now affected the whole world. It has brought down the economy. It is threatening the world that it will wipe out. Now just see thousands of people are dying all over the world, country, all over the world. And we have not been able to, find out the drug and the vaccine for it. Today, in the last 2 months, when the COVID brought this imposition of a lockdown on the world society, we saw beautiful air, we saw lovely rivers, we saw trees, we saw flowers, we heard the birds singing in the morning, which we never heard because there is so much of traffic, there's so much of traffic noise, so much of human noise. The economic activity, the industrial activities all were brought down. When they were brought down, the air became clearer. I was able to see around my house, there are lots of trees which I have planted here. The anatomy of the botany, was able to be seen by me. The stems, the bunches of flowers, the bunches of how the grass, how the green leaves, they tremble when there is a small wind. So there are so many beautiful things. And I remembered how our great poet, Vera Bendre, wrote wonderful poetry. It is because of the environment. He wrote Patargitti Pakka, Nudidene Akka, Hesru Hachi Chuchi, Arishna Kunkuma Chuchi. See, this is nothing but biodiversity. From the butterflies, which go to the lantana, which go to the bush. And it was Professor Uttangi. It is he who told me that Dharwad from Belgaum to Ranebennur, which is about 200 kilometers in length and about 50 kilometers width, we have 4 ecosystems. That is the Western Ghat forest. As the forest subside, we have the thorny bushes, where about 10,000 acres of land has been called as a sanctuary. The Blackbuck Sanctuary, where the great Indian bustard birds were there. And then as you go towards the east, the land becomes a little undulated. So the depressions became water bodies. They became lakes over thousands of years. So Dharwad had 1,000 lakes, 1,000 lakes. That's why Dharwad has a tremendous biodiversity. And as you go towards the east, we have the Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau gets extended into the Andhra Pradesh. The grasslands, the beautiful animals, the herds of the deer, consisting of 300 to 400 deer. My father used to say that there are tigers in Heblikar. So my friend said, oh, it may not be true. But the professor said yes, because there were once upon a time, the deer moved in the great herds of 300 to 400. And to hunt them, the leopards and the tigers would follow. So this kind of beautiful environment we have in the world, you do not have 4 ecosystems nestling with each other, except in Canada, where the prairies meet the forest. We have 2 ecosystems. We have in Karnataka 4 ecosystems. We have in Karnataka 19 and odd 1,000 square kilometers of wonderful green forest, evergreen forest, deciduous forest. And unfortunately, Karnataka is considered second in terms of having arid land, in terms of having deserts, second only to Rajasthan. Imagine with having maximum amount of forest compared to 4 other states like Goa, Maharashtra, Kerala, we have maximum amount, that is 19 and odd 1,000 square kilometers of forest. We still have to have a lot of arid land, right from Raichur, Gulbarga, and Ballari, and then we have Bijapur, Bagalkot, Athani. These are the places where there is not much of rain. But now the rain is happening sometime because of the global warming and the climate change. See, this climate change has to be thought about. If we are talking about sustainability, then we have to think about all these, like the environmental viruses. There are environmental ills. Now, if you look at some of the glaciers, which are melting down in huge portions, about 250 billion tons of the glaciers are going to be melted in a short way in the coming few months. And 250 billion, imagine ice when it gets melted, the water will gush into the Atlantic Ocean. And then there is a conveyor belt. The conveyor belt will slow down. It will slow down the rainfall. And ultimately, there will be no agriculture, there will be no seasons, there will be no rutus. We, as in India, we remember we did not have to have Environment Day at all. Every day, we depended on our soil, on our water. We drew the water from the wells, we drew it from the lakes, we drew it from the ponds. The agriculturists went, took their cattle. So they depended directly on these grasslands, on the lakes, on the forests. So they did not destroy them because they knew they have to be saved. But today, in an urban society, the students, the youngsters do not know the importance of the grassland, the importance of the wetland, the importance of the sholas, the importance of forest. They think forest, yes. So plant the trees. Planting trees is not going to be suffice as far as environment is concerned. Environment is a total thing. We have to think in terms of paper, plastic, electricity that we use, the houses that we build, the urban infrastructure that we are creating, like flyovers and the elevated roads and the green roads. And once you create these roads, all the other trees and the lakes and all start getting dried up because people want to sell the land because the rates have gone up. Today, it is impossible to build a house in Bangalore. It is very, very difficult for millions of people to live in Bangalore. The rates have gone up. It is only the COVID which taught us the lesson to the world. This COVID came and people had to sit at home. They had to learn many things. They had to know how their women, in the sense their wives or their mothers, their sisters, how they were preparing food, how they were cultivating the whole family relationship. So apart from that, the environment was much better. See, we were able to see the mountains of the Himalayas from a distance of nearly 50 to 100 kilometers. The great, clearing, beautiful Himalayas, wonderful rivers, Yamuna and Ganga. The water was just being, perfect for drinking. For months, thousands of crores were being spent by the government of India on cleaning the river, but it was not possible. Just do nothing, leave the river to itself, it became clear. You could drink the water. So imagine the human activities have brought this global warming. The human activities triggered by the economic activities, triggered by urbanization, triggered by globalization, they have all brought us so many. Our other dreams were suppressed. Different kinds of dreams came. We want to have car, we want to have this, we want to have beautiful things in the cities. This urbanization for a country like India has to be thought about very carefully, because some of the Western countries which went into creating their science and technology, they have taken more than 175 years. They had to produce from a small pin to an aeroplane. It took them 150 years. They had to produce cycle, they had to produce motorcycle, they had to produce camera, they had to produce so many things which we didn't produce. We are only buying from them. In the process of manufacturing, the Western civilization understood the processes were complicated. The industrial, environmental, economic, cultural. When youngsters started making certain products, they started polluting the soil, polluting the water, polluting the air. People in the villages said, "What is this pollution?" Then the farmers told them, the youngsters, "Why don't you go a little away and concentrate?" And the youngsters asked, "Who will give us food?" The farmers said, "We will produce food and give to you." So it is the farmers which build the cities in the West. Understand? So they had to plan everything for 175 years. And after planning, whether they should build a city, that took time. Whether they should have cars, it took time. And even today, they don't use the cars unnecessarily like we do. They go by train, they go by bus, they ride the cycle, right? They have maintained, in spite of it, a lot of pollution has happened in the West because the governments have changed. And I want to stress one thing, that we need to have kind of politicians who should understand environment better, who should consult environment better. But the future of this world depends on the environment. We should understand we need water, we need food, we need clothes. We can't just go on wearing anything. Today, uh, the there is a plant which grows in the arid areas, which can substitute all the leather products. You don't have to kill animals. It produces jackets, it produces coats, it produces shoes, it produces sandals, it produces belt. The cactus, we have to grow that cacti. It is only done in Mexico. A lot of it, people have started now, great enterprises. I have seen films, I have seen, and I have met a lot of scientists who say that it is the amount of killing of the animals is so horrible that if you look at the way, thousands and thousands of them are killed every day to make fur. The women walk into beautiful, these shopping stores, the malls, buy them, but the way the animals have suffered the pain, they don't know. Unfortunate it is, because a lot of urbanites that we don't know what kind of pain, has been meted out to the millions of common people. So this has to be understood. The environment has to be done. The teachers must focus on students to understand that we need to have a kind of an economy which will go consistently with our natural resources. We need to have an economy which will contain, which will maintain the stability, because the stability, without stability, because once I attended an international conference where the leader of the nearly 150 nations said the amount of cars that are being manufactured and the people are using them, where are we going to get all this diesel and petrol? How long? They have all been stored once, okay, we may use it for another 10 years, 20 years, but this world has to go on for a long time. Today, there is not much water. See, many of the advanced nations use 80% of the wastewater, they recycle it and use it. We are only using 28 to 30%. China and India, we should really do it more. And the other African countries are only using 15 to 20% of the wastewater. How can we? We cannot produce one drop of water more than what it was millions of years ago. We can produce more electricity through sun, that is solar energy, bioenergy from biogas, and wind energy. But we cannot produce one drop of more water than what it has been there on the earth for millions of years. So we should know how to use water, whether agriculture or industry, because when industrialization started in India, about 60% of the water which was being for agriculture has been transferred to the industries. Urban growth took place in such a way that we destroyed many of our ecosystems in the forests, in the villages. We destroyed villages. We destroyed environmental assets like rivers, like ponds, like grasslands. They produce a lot of economy. They produce culture. They have given us resources for survival. Where will we people go? Today, there are 120 million people who have gone back to the villages, the migrant workers. They somehow believe that the villages will make them survive. Some piece of land, they will grow vegetables and survive there. They came to the cities, just like all of us came to the cities as a dream. The cities had a lot of dreams. People want to go to Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, New York. But once you go, then you will understand. Maybe when you don't get job, you don't get houses, you don't get stability of your job, then you are asked to go, you will find how difficult it is. Water will be expensive, air will be polluted, there will be no soil. We have been, asphalting everything. Where will the rainwater go when we asphalt everything? About 12% more, temperatures will go up. 5% from the road, 7% from the buildings, the temperature goes up. And it will rebound throughout the city, creating heat islands. You cannot survive. Then you have to use, fan and the ACs. Look at the buildings that we have created, steel and glass, millions of ACs. How do you produce this power? Fortunately, we have been able to produce some solar power now. But then a lot of power is produced in this world through coal. Coal creates tremendous amount of carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, which is jettisoned into the atmosphere. That global warming is happening. I spoke about global warming a little while back. Global warming will destroy our agriculture because the climate change. Now we are used to a particular climate. I remember on the 5th of June, we will have rain started, the Mungaro rain. Now we don't know when the rains will come at all. It is fortunately in the last year it rained. See, Kodagu, which tremendous amount of forest that we have. Dakshina Kannada, Uttar Kannada, they are all dense forests were there. Today we don't have. The youngsters are just moving to the cities like Mumbai, Bangalore. But where will you give them accommodation? Where will you give them water? So this inequality will, prevail for a long time. The millions of people will have to live with limited resources, with sometimes no resources. Where only few people that we have created in the last 30, 40 years, the industrialization, about 100 people only have a lot of wealth of this nation, and 90% of the people, or more than around 89% of the people, they have, they live with only 2.5% of the wealth. Whereas the rest of the nation, that is about 11% of the people, have all the wealth of the nation with them. This is not a very stable society. This is an unstable society. The world has to change. We are changing. We have to change the world. Look at Hong Kong. The youngsters have said, no, we are not going to allow China, to reign us, to rule us. The rule of law has to be there. Youngsters have changed. Their perceptions have changed. Their lifestyles have changed. But the lifestyle should not be changed only economically. The lifestyles have to be changed consciously, environmentally. We have to live on this earth. And the earth means soil. It means grass. It means water. It means insects. It means butterflies. It means flowers. It is trees. They are the ones, they give us culture. Our culture has come from environment. So if we do not have the environment, then where will the culture be? Without culture, can we exist? We are not just like robots. We cannot live like robots, right? We have to have culture. We have to have our own traditions. These are very important. And they will come to us only when we preserve our environment. So stability comes. The teachers, the college lecturers must try to convey this, that if you do not allow the environment to be preserved, if you allow only the industries to come, disregarding environment, then it will also create a very disordered society. People will be unhappy. People will not be able to live in peace and harmony. That's what the whole world, wants. Without peace and harmony, you cannot live. Only with money, you cannot live. Nobody will give you protection. The police cannot come all the time to you. Even the police themselves are sometimes, bothered about this whole. A lot of cops, they come and tell me, sir, we actually wanted to, study like you, and we wanted to do that. But the circumstances at home compelled us to take these jobs. Whatever the jobs we have, whether you are a police, whether you are, whether you are a corporate, whatever it is, we need environment. That is why teachers must say that without environment, there will not be peace. We have in Bangalore, there were about 800 large lakes. We are left with only 270 lakes now. Many of our lakes cannot be used because we have created shopping malls, we have created housing layouts, we have created industrial layouts. In the catchment areas, no lake will survive without a catchment area. Whatever the rainfall comes, the rain sheet, that is the water sheet of the lake, that will only survive, but it will be a dead lake. Because the waterfall, the rainfall has to come It has to take the nutrients of the soil through grass and bushes and go into the lakes. Similarly, the rivers are the same. All the rivers meet the sea. Some of our engineers say that the river is wasting its water into the sea. The sea is not a gutter. The sea is not a dead water. The sea provides food for the 60% of the world. If you go and look at the kind of fish that we have, the mangroves create tremendous amount of biodiversity. The brackish water, the salt water, the fresh water, the mixture of these waters create mussels, create prawn, create fish, create snail, and supply it to the world. Imagine the oceans, the biodiversity of the mangroves is as important as the trees and the forests that is on the soil. So, and the oceans bring us seasons. They create tremendous amount of carbon dioxide, sink. That is, whatever carbon you create, the ocean is a sink. So are the grasslands. So are our sholas. They absorb a lot of this carbon dioxide and create beautiful atmosphere for human beings and animals to survive. Are this what it? I mean, we say that we are intellectuals. What is the intellectualism? Without caring for animals, without caring for environment, without caring for soil, just go after wealth. So the Stanford University in America brought out a brilliant report a few years ago. In that, they said there are three reasons which are, you know, which are destroying the global environment. One is increase in the population, then the increased demands of the increasing population, then the industries and the economic volume. That is, the industries go on producing those demands that you put there, because the supply chain also has to be there. So in the production of goods, we spend huge amount of resources, power, then coal, water, everything. And so we bring huge amount of vehicles on the road. So we globalize everything, we urbanize everything. And then the third thing they said is search for affluence. That is, everybody wants to make a fast buck. You want to make a fast buck without waiting, without working hard. So this creation of money has to be, because I'm now thinking that the world has to dramatically change. This money has brought a tremendous amount of, environmental destruction, because we are going after money. Money is required to buy a car, to buy a house, to buy things, to buy beautiful things. Just imagine what would have been there if there were no money. Brought a tremendous amount of felicity, no doubt, facility among the human population, no doubt about it. But its unlimited use, its unlimited ambition has created a great disaster for the world. It is because of the money we are trying to destroy the natural resources. It is, I saw the Amazon, the green forest, the Amazon biodiversity is disturbed. The Amazons, the whole livelihood sources for millions of people who live there has been destroyed. Why? It is giving 80% of the oxygen of the world. We are not bothered about it. So we are wearing clothes which are not good for us, but they are being produced. One factory owner said that we are producing saris for which we use eucalyptus. The lignin is destroying the rivers. But if we produce these saris, the millions of poor women are wearing it. We are selling it cheap. Yes, they require cheap. But then Mahatma Gandhi said one thing, that khadi is the best thing, because I believe khadi is a textile which does not require water, which does not require electricity, which does not require chemicals. You can produce. All other textiles are heavily, polluting industries. Textile industries are highly polluting industries. You go to Tirupur, where they have 5,000 units of Hosiery products. They destroyed a novel river, which was a tributary of Kaveri. They completely destroyed it. It was a beautiful river. And now they have put up a recycling water plant costing 12,000 crores. The World Bank has given 6,000 crores. Tamil Nadu has given 4,000 crores. And the industries have put 2,000 crores. But yet, it is still not working properly. So we should not destroy what Earth has given us in original shape, like our rivers, like our springs, like our ponds, like our lakes. If they are sustainably, if they are cautiously, if without, search for affluence, that is, without having the ambitions of making only economic prosperity, if we maintain them, they will maintain large, human beings. They will maintain the biodiversity. They will sustain the human existence on this earth. So sustainability is nothing. There are big conferences in the world. They call sustainable. But what is sustainable? If we do not use them cautiously, the resources of the earth, then there will be no sustainability. There is water, the soil, the air, they have to be maintained. These are the basic components of environment which have enabled us to survive on this earth. So if we do not understand that, then we start, making economic progress of the society. It will be there only for a little time. How much time? Is it 200 years now? In the last 200 years, we have destroyed this earth by using our technologies and science to such an extent that J.B.S. Haldane, the great physicist from England, who came to India and lived here for more than 30, 40 years and died. He wrote many books. He was a well-known scientist, J.B.S. Haldane. In one book, he says, the youngsters will be fascinated by technology. Technology will create products like computer, mobile phones, cars, and all that. And the youngsters will be fascinated by these products. They will work only to possess them. They will go after them. They will lose interest in literature, in poetry, in theater, in arts, in culture. And even their physiognomy, their health conditions will start deteriorating. Once they start deteriorating, then they will perish. Maybe it will take some time, but what he said is absolutely true. Science, Professor U.R. Rao once said, our C.N.R. Rao, Mr. Heblikar, don't talk to me more about technology. I'm a science man, he said. I'm very happy. Science is required because this world has a lot of science. The air, the water, the television that we use, the things that we produce. The basic science is very important. Science is meant to rid human beings of the grueling hard labor. Otherwise, we had to dig, we had to do everything manually. It was very sad. So the science came. When Thomas Alva Edison lighted the bulb, he killed the ghost in the night. Similarly, we need to have science that will put us on a comfortable platform to survive. But too much of technology will destroy our culture, will destroy our health, will destroy our food, our ecosystems. As I said, the modern lifestyles are bringing modern diseases. It will be difficult to match with the modern diseases like coronavirus. We don't know how it has come, where it has come, though I wrote articles about it. We still do not know. People say it must have been invented in a laboratory. We don't know what is China trying to do. US is attacking it, that it did not give information about earlier about the spread of this virus. So we should be careful how to sustain life. That is why today environment is a big subject. It's a global subject. I don't think there is any other subject which will really, subside or which will overtake environment. Because environment is a subject. It is not only a subject, it is life itself. It is a component, it is a life. It's like a breath. It's like a blood. That is environment. With that, we are living, we have been living, we will have to live in future. Today we are sitting here because there is light, there are trees, there are air. Otherwise, how can we? So we have to be careful about the way we build our society, the way we build our cities, the way we build urbanization. Globalization only came to us, it did not bring us culture. It brought only economy. Some people made a lot of money and they are surviving. Even the media goes after them because they have lots of money. It should not happen. When you see, ultimately, when the man who started a company called Apple, he said, when I'm dying, now I have come to know I'm alone and it doesn't require too much of wealth. I had gone after all that. He's considered as a tremendously a genius person. Whether you are a genius or not, if you have a simple knowledge about this earth, I think that's much better than being a genius. A genius who tries to make wealth and then realizes later stage, then all this I did was wrong. Instead of that, elapsing the time which is meant for destroying the environment. It is better that we live with our environment, learning every minute, learning every second of our life, that we are here because of the fresh air, because of the water, because of the animals, because of the birds, the biodiversity. And this sustainability comes to us from maintaining our biodiversity. So with these words, I say hello and thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk to all of you. I hope I was able to make some sense.
No, it was a very, very influencing, effective talk, sir.
Thank you.
You have actually awakened the responsibilities of the teachers towards our students. It is with us how we are going to ignite the young minds by practicing ways of conserving and preserving and enhancing environment. So it was a very talk from you.
Thank
Now
you.
let us, yes, now the platform is open for discussion. Let us see what questions our participants have. What is this? Very motivator, sorry. Sir. Sustainable? Questions? There is one question from Vilasini Bhatt, who asks, sir, do we consider that COVID-19 is a lesson that nature has taught us?
Yeah, to a large extent.
For our negligence, for our careless lifestyle?
Because people who are sensitive will understand this. Those who are sensitive will try to see outside, will try to think now there is less sound, the fresh air is there, the trees are better, the birds are singing, and the whole life has become better in spite of the fact that there is not much of an economic activity. So this is a lesson which we have to learn, that the too much of economic and industrial activities, they bring about the environmental destruction. So COVID is certainly a great teacher. There is no doubt about that. But only people have to understand. Now we have gone back slowly to the same kind of stream of life that we started, earlier. Again, we are riding the bike, we are riding the cars. Same, the shops have opened, and once again they are all blaring on the road. So this will not. But these 2 months, which taught us a lesson, has to be understood even by politicians. I'm saying politicians because it is a political, it is a political system. It is a political vision which brings about a change in our environmental system. If they want only cities, if they want cities like Bangalore, about 7, 8 years ago, there were 110 villages in Bangalore, right? About 7, 8 years ago. These villages were beautiful. They had a lot of soil, they had gardens, they were growing vegetables, they had kalyanis, that's wells, they had little ponds. They maintained them. And whatever the the rainfall came, it percolated into the soil and increased the groundwater table. But I don't know what happened to BBMP with certain officers, maybe with some politicians. They said, no, it is creating some trouble for Bangalore. What trouble was there? If there were villages, you could have showcased the villages to the outsiders, to the whole the tourists of the world, because the tourists of the world come to see India in villages, not cities. They have enough cities. We should have shown how people live in the villages by making beautiful lampposts, beautiful the stay guest houses, by making small rural restaurants, giving food to them. So we could have maintained so much of water. They said we will give free water. And 5,000 crore, they said, we will give you from the 4th or 5th phase of Kaveri. You can have 10 phases, but Kaveri should get that much of water, no? And then the temperatures have gone up. We have killed all the ponds. We have killed the gardens. We have killed the vegetable growing systems of the villages. Yes, maybe some of them got some money, but how long the money will survive? This has to be, yeah. Though we have to understand, yeah.
Yeah. There is one more question from Shobha Kalkur, who asks, whose role do you think, sir, is more? Is it in towards the destruction of environment? Is it the political system or the public?
See, we have to have everybody's participation in the environmental conservation. There is no doubt. People should, students, politicians, corporates, all of them will have to. But there has to be certain vision. What I'm saying is the vision has to be brought by politicians. Because politicians today are deciding, they're sitting there and they decide, they bring out certain rules, they bring out certain amendments in the constitution and all that. And then they create urban infrastructures, which is destroying our villages, which is destroying our, ecosystems. Where they are widening the roads in the Western Ghats. They should understand what the Western Ghats does. Western Ghats is not only forest. Western Ghats bring us economy. They have given us good culture. They have given us good sustainability. They give us good health, medicine, and hundreds of communities which live around the fringes of the forest. They use the minor forest produce like the honey, the flower, the fruits. They grow in the forest. And what about the students? Where will they go to study the biodiversity? Where will they go to study the animals, the plant life? They don't have. So this vision the politicians must have a vision. And then this vision will make everybody okay. They will make the students, they will make the society, they will make the private, personnel to think about environment and to participate in the preservation of environment. So a political vision is a must. So I'm thinking about to have not only United Nations, to have a different global society, a global conservation destiny. And there will be the leaders of the nation who will definitely think about, okay, if a nation is going to put up so many industries, do you require that only to make money? Or do you require to think of the whole society, whether this particular industry is going to really be in harmony with nature, in harmony with environment or not? So anyway, so many considerations, so many points will have to be discussed, will have to be deliberated before we start our economic program for the world. Don't allow America, don't allow China, don't allow India, don't allow other countries to just go on doing whatever they want. No. We have to think about it, deliberate it, how to bring resources, where there are craftsmen, where there is resources available, human resource, natural resource, mix it and create a kind of a society and economy which will keep the environment in a good shape. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now, there is another question from, name is not their only initial. Okay. K.M. Raghavendran.
Yeah.
He says, it was a wonderful talk, sir. Could you give some tips on how to balance progress with being environmental conscious?
See, I have the whole talk which I gave is focused on creating environmental consciousness. If we are environmentally conscious, if we know the role of the water, the soil, the trees, right, and agriculture. See, we'll have the whole India lived with environmental resources. We lived with soil, we lived with bushes, we lived with grassland, we lived with animals. There is a book written by a medical scientist.
He's going to talk? Jammu?
The medical scientist of England. He wrote, the little bit of dirt is good for health and for the economy, he wrote. See, look at India, he said. Look at the villages, because there are 66% of the people live in the villages even too. They live with the dung which is smeared on the floor. They use the dung of the cows and the buffaloes, and they make fuel, the fuel beds. So they live with animals, they live with cats, they live with goats, they live with the same, and nothing happens. Our immunity grows. So if we are conscious about this kind of a life that India lived, and even the world lived also. The world also was environmentally very conscious. Think of Van Gogh, the great painter. If you go to the Amsterdam Museum, every small letter that he wrote to his brother saying that, no, I want to live in the villages only, he said. He painted the beautiful grasslands, the bushes, the growth of the agriculture, the wheat, the women who lived there, the open sky, the clouds. It is such a beautiful. So great artists have understood the importance of environment. And the landscape of England, Robert Byron and Shelley, Keats, all the people. And,
Nature poets.
They looked at the beautiful landscapes of the whole nature, the sea, the rivers. Tennyson, he wrote a fantastic, book on, the love between a girl and two boys called Garden, 1,000 lines poetry. He establishes the beauty of the oceans and wonderful the systems around the oceans and the way they live their life. So these are the great visionaries. Yeah, that is why I said our great poets like even Bendre or Kuvempu and also Rabindranath Tagore. They hugely establish the beauty and the foundation of environmental ecosystems. They may be saying trees, they may be saying gardens, but the gardens means, the forests and the soil and the air, everything. We have to take them in a broad way. So this is environmental consciousness. If we are environmentally conscious, we will create an economy which will be in harmony with nature and environmental resources. So we have to create an economy which will not destroy. Of course, certain amount of destruction is a must. Say, for instance, the steel. We require certain amount of steel. Otherwise, we cannot build a house. We cannot create machines and all that. I even gave some permission for 2 years, which Kudremukha Iron Ore Company. They said we had spent, and the Asian, one of my friends is a great geologist. He said that was the best company in Asia. But then later, of course, they did not take care of it. They are gushing a lot of earth into the river. It was polluting it. But then when we raised it, they stopped it. They said, give us 2 years. They have spent about 28 years. And what is wrong in giving 2 years? Many of our environmentalists use cars and they all talk so big about all the animals and all that, using the cars, going abroad, using the aeroplanes. Are they not using the steel? Are they not using? Why not allow a company like that? It was not a private company which was, exploiting the natural resources or the iron ore and all that. I said, okay, let them have for 2 years. They have spent 28 years. Another 2 years, what is wrong? So we have to think, yes, certain amount of damages are there. But if the damages can be stopped, then we can always think about returning, the ecosystems. But we cannot destroy the ecosystems beyond repair. If, for instance, the Western Ghats and all that forest, we cannot destroy them beyond repair, beyond rejuvenation. There are 3 people we have to understand: Thoreau, Schumacher, and Gandhi. These are the 3 people. If we really listen to them, listen to what they wrote, for instance, Thoreau, he said, after living in a city, he went to the village. He built a small 2-room cabin, started growing his requirements of vegetables and fruits in his 2-acre land. He said, my God, I spent all my life unnecessarily in the forest, in the cities. This is a beautiful. And then he walked thousands of kilometers. People were saying, why are you walking, sir? Why don't you go in a car? He said, if I went in a car, what I would see? When I walk, I can see the moth, I can see the grass, I can see the wind, I can see the earth. And then so much of imagination, I will start churning in my mind. The thoughts about environment, grassland, everything. So these are the people. He wrote The Golden Pond, which is a Bible on environment, although he was not an environmentalist. Gandhi said the fantastic thing. He said, use small industries, use handicrafts, craftsmen, use these cottage industries like, khadi. Amazing person. If we had, the whole world had listened to Gandhi, actually we would not have gone into this position. Maybe certain more, no doubt. But Gandhi had a great vision. That's why we need visionaries. The visionaries will tell the world that this is what we require, this is what will be good, this is what will be sustained. So we need to have politicians and visionaries.
Yes, yes. Sir, that was a very wonderful reply from your side. There are some more opinions which the participants have expressed, like now after, because of this COVID-19, even the learning, classroom learning is shifted to online learning. And this may again keep the children away from nature. This is one concern what the participant has expressed.
So how will they be kept away from nature? Well,
They'll
if
be
they come to
glued.
the college, they will be coming either by bus only or by
No,
car.
they'll stay at home. They'll stay at home,
They'll stay at
online
home.
teaching.
Yeah, maybe they will
online
see more of nature on the TV. They will see more. Yeah, in the class they will only have to. No, they have to come to the class to learn. There is no doubt about that.
Blended classrooms we are going to have.
What I'm saying. I think
alternatives.
maybe, see, we have fought many diseases in the world, right?
Yes.
And we will fight this also. I'm sure
Yes.
we have people, talented people, intellectuals, great scientists. They are capable of finding out a drug, finding out a vaccine for corona. The only thing is, corona has come at a time, I think, rightly, when we are economically so much destroying the environment, and the whole, millions of people around the world were finding it difficult to survive. So the corona came at a right time to tell us, no, go slow, go soberly. Otherwise, you will destroy the whole world immediately, putting millions of children, billions of children, into the abyss. This should not happen. So it was very important. Corona's timing is very important. It came at a time when the world realized, yes, we have done enough. We should not do more. The world is saying now, we have followed the wrong ways, the wrong modern ways, the wrong systems we have followed. That is why we have these viruses coming up now. We are not able to find out how the virus has come. So we have to understand philosophically, spiritually, this world. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So your message is that we have got to make it a practice in our life, maintaining the ecosystem and all other human activities. So there are lots of appreciation pouring in the chat box. They are saying that your talk had been a very eye-opener. It had been very wonderful, marvelous, very informative, etc., etc. We would like to get connected with the participant from Jammu. There is some disturbance. Please mute. From Jammu and Kashmir, there is a participant. We would like to get connected to him. We would like to bring him online. Who would love to speak 2 words regarding what he has done? Now it is Dr. Balkari Lal, medical officer from Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah.
Yes. Balkari Lal would
like to. Everybody.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. As far as COVID-19 is concerned, as far as our knowledge, this is tackled in very efficient way and very nice way in our state, and as far as data in whole of our country. And there is a good infrastructure and a little bit modification is required. This is going on, but this is tackled in very efficient way. Second, on this World Environment Day, I would like to request, rather convey every participants and others that to prevent global warming, we should proceed on more plantation, which is required. And as per when I was a 12th standard student in the subject botany, I used to learn there is a production of oxygen from plants, which is from carbon dioxide and water. There is a reaction in presence of sunlight known as photosynthesis, which produces oxygen, which is very, very essential. That is only essential for the all the living
Right.
all the living words on this earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes,
You're welcome.
thank you. Thank you.
Trees are the
So,
only thing which absorb the solar radiation and convert it into biochemical energy for photosynthesis. And, right.
So,
That
sir,
takes you 5 minutes.
once a great man said, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a gift and not giving it to the needed person. So it's time for us. I would just try to put our gratitude to you in meager words. Sir, I express on behalf of Government First Grade College, Hoskote, the immense enrichment that we have had today by your talk, and we express our gratitude. Thank you, a big thank you for making yourself available to this national webinar, because we know you are the busiest person today, because just you finished your talk to Doordarshan before you got connected to this webinar. Sir, you made our day, and we are very, very thankful for it. And also, we promise you that we, the teachers, along with our students, will maintain a cordial and harmonious relationship with the nature henceforth, and we'll also take steps how we can inspire, motivate our students to stay eco-friendly in their lifestyle. Thank you so much, sir. I would also
we will be coming to your college. We want to do some work in Hoskote. We want to take up planting, and we want to do something for the big lake.
Principal. Okay.
We want to do something for the lake and also do planting. We'll come to your college.
College, sir, it's a great honor for us that you are telling that you'll come visit personally to our college, address the students, address the teachers, guide the teachers and students what best we can contribute to the nature. Yes, I'm sure that our principal would like to express his gratitude here on this occasion. Kindly unmute. Sir, you need to unmute your audio.
Unmute?
You need to, principal sir, you need to unmute your audio to respond to what Sri Suresh Heblikar has just said. That he would like to personally visit Government First Grade College, Hoskote, and boost the confidence and motivate the students and the teachers to make them more eco-friendly and go ahead with more steps towards enhancing and preserving nature. So,
hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಹಲೋ, ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ತಾವು
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ತಾವು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಪರಿಸರ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎನ್ಲೈಟನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಸರ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಾಗೆ, ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಾಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶಯಗಳಿಗೆ ತಕ್ಕಾಗೆ ನಾವು ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಸರ್ ನಮ್ದು. ತಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂತ ಸುದ್ದಿ ತಿಳಿದು ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷನಾಗಿದೆ.
ಬರ್ತೇವೆ.
ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಹೊಸಕೋಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಪರಿಸರ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ. ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ದಿವಸ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅರ್ಥಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಸಹ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿದ್ರಿ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಗೌರವಪೂರ್ವಕ ವಂದನೆಗಳು ನಾನು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ನಾನು
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ತುಂಬಾ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್. ನನ್ನನ್ನ ನೀವು ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ, ಟೀಚರ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬೆರೆದು ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಇದ್ದಂತಹ ನನ್ಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಅನುಭವ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯ್ತು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
I also express my gratitude to all the participants who have actually added meaningful to the plans that were scheduled by Government First Grade College, Hoskote, on this World Environment Day celebration. Thank you, participants.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. I also express my gratitude to the principal, Dr. Muninarayanappa of Government First Grade College, Hoskote, for his unstinted support unstinted support for the teachers in organizing this very, very meaningful, the need of the art, this national webinar. I also thank all the teachers and non-teaching staff who have been responsible directly and indirectly in making this program a great success. Thank you, one and all, dear participants. The webinar has not come to an end. Tomorrow also, you are going to join us for the second day session on the sustainable environment in post-COVID. So, wishing you all the best and a great day. Yes, a great day. Stay connected to us. Tomorrow, once again, we are going to meet. Stay safe, stay happy, stay blessed. Thank you. We take leave from you.